Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Do you guys remember the first time we did this live stream show and I sat down? Does anybody remember that? Did anybody watch the first episode of the live stream in the last studio? Do you remember I was sitting on a stool maybe?
Was in the studio you were?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was going to work.
I thought you were talking about the first episode we did when we originally did it in your office.
Oh, where we had the rundown?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a ETH or something we were talking about that day. But I just remember when we started, like when we were going to do this live show and I sat down. That would have never worked.
Yeah.
How crazy was that?
You're definitely better standing up.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. No channel works harder to keep you in the know about crypto. My name is Ben. Today is Tuesday, April 26th. And if we could get the doors open, because it is already 75 in here, we're going to be live every single day, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I was a little rushed this morning. I had a little doctor's appointment, so I just walked in here a few moments ago. But guys, Bitcoin pumped a little bit yesterday, but is it going to last? Are we still above 40 or no? Do you know?
No.
We lost it. I saw that coming.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. Pumped yesterday or went up a little bit from the dump it did the day before, I feel like. It's not really pumping. It's just up a little bit more than it was down, if that makes sense.
That's pumping these days. Am I right?
Welcome to a bear market.
Welcome. You know, and some, like, there's moments where I have these little, like, moments of doubt where I'm like, maybe we're going to go up and I'm going to look stupid. But it's just everything in every fiber in my being is saying this is exactly what we saw in the last cycle. So, but guys, we're not getting massive movement. We're not getting massive volatility. We are seeing some volatility in the stock market. I say a little more than we're seeing in, crypto right now, because we're used to the volatility in crypto. They're not used to the volatility on the stock market. So it hits a little bit different. We're going to be looking at Elon Musk. It's official, guys. He is buying Twitter. We talked a lot about it yesterday. Did you see that tweet that I posted that was, let me pull it up real quick.
I probably did.
It was from The Verge.
Oh, maybe not.
Like, I guess that's like a new, that's not the crypto project.
No.
But basically, like I said, someone should make this from my tweets because it would be reversed. This is like on May 1st, 2015. Elon Musk, rockstar savior. Yesterday, how to deactivate your Twitter account.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they're so confused on who they're supposed to be like and who they're supposed to cheer for these days.
Well, they kept saying, the one I saw a lot was, if Elon Musk buys Twitter, I'm leaving Twitter is the new I'm moving to Canada if Trump wins the election. Basically, like, nobody cares and no, you're not.
Miley Cyrus moved, didn't she? Oh, she said she was going to.
Who knows?
A lot of those people said. That's the one I remember. I remember Miley Cyrus saying she was going to leave if he won, and she didn't leave. Look, I love America. What other choice you got out there? What's better? Okay, guys, let's go and get started with the show here. 1.45 million subscribers on YouTube, of course. We've been saying that for 4 months now. I hope you guys are enjoying. I want to make these videos a little shorter. Can you put a poll up and say, how long do you want our crypto news nightly videos to be? In between 3 and 4 minutes? In between 4 and 6 minutes? Or 7 minutes plus? I'd be very interested to see. Or do 4 minutes and under. 4 minutes or under.
What were the options?
4 minutes and under, 4 to 6 minutes, or 6 to 10 minutes. I'm just curious because I want them to be shorter. I think 4 minutes is probably about perfect for those. People are trying to digest them really quick. They want details on the stories. They can look, other places for those once we give them the news. So very curious to see what people. I remember when we were doing the 3 minutes. Those were hitting pretty hard.
So you want 4 minutes or less?
Yes.
4
to 6 minutes.
4 to 6.
Or 6 to 10 minutes.
I know my answer.
4 minutes or less?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. So we'll see what we're putting the poll up, guys. So you can answer the poll here on YouTube. And don't forget to smash the like button, guys.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're in that XRP Army. We're in the XRP Army shirt today. You can get the shirt at hitmerch.com. If you just go to the website, hitmerch.com, click menu, and then go to jerseys or shirt. Yeah, jerseys right there. Hey, that's only $50 for this shirt.
It's a deal.
That's a steal of a deal. That's our best shirt we got, I think. Well, I like this one too, but all right, let's go ahead and get started here on the markets. We've got the market cap coming in 1.8 trillion, 92 billions of volume staying about the same. Bitcoin 41.3% dominance. It's been rising a little bit. ETH dominance up slightly. I think it was 19.2% yesterday. And for 27 Paraguays, you can send an ETH transaction. That is a permanent staple on the channel. I'll never get rid of that. Wow, what a drop. We're all the way back down to 39.1. We're hovering. We're trying to stay above 39 right now. We'll have Frank come on in just a few minutes and tell you what he think is going on in the market. Ethereum at 28.96. It's actually up over yesterday, which is interesting. BNB down 390. Solana about the same place it was yesterday. XRP now at 66 cents. It's lost that 67 cents. I'm expecting this to go down a little bit more. I really am, with the delaying of the case. What a great gift to accumulate XRP with this lawsuit. And, you know, in the bull run, when prices were going up for everything, it was frustrating. But now that we're heading into, or we're in bear territory, now this is when the lower prices are gifts for sure. So if I were you, not financial advice, I would definitely make sure I've got XRP in my portfolio. Uphold and KuCoin, two places that Americans can go to get it. It's a question we get a lot. Cardano at 85 cents and Dogecoin up. TJ, I think we got to buy some. I think we have to buy some.
Yeah, that's fine. How much? Did you have a number in mind?
I don't know. Maybe
like 10K?
No.
Like a lot.
Like between 100 and 200. I mean,
where's it? Let's look at the chart.
Let's look at the chart. Let's pull up. TJ likes these simple charts. He doesn't like the.
Well, I like to just look at a very broad range. If there's somewhat of a support around.
Yeah, I mean, there's support, you know, in between 11 and 13 cents. It's at 14.9 right now. It had a pullback. It was up like 15% yesterday, and then it dropped down a little bit. It's still showing up 6%. I guess that's from when he actually announced that he was going to be buying it. But I just think there's a chance this is getting integrated. There's no way it's not getting integrated into Twitter in some way.
There's no way there's not at least a lot of hype around that. Even if it, I mean, I would imagine it probably will happen. Even if it doesn't happen, it's going to be hyped up a lot that it is going to happen. The question is, I mean, there's really not much of a lower. I mean, what's it at? 15 cents?
Yeah, it's at 15 cents. I mean, it was pretty much accumulation at like 11, 12 cents, and it's only at 15 right now.
If you get to 11, that'd be great.
Yes.
But
I think it's the kind of thing where, you know, I wish we had gotten Dogecoin earlier last year. Like we got in at about a little bit under a penny, and then we sold most of it at like 10 cents or 7 cents, whatever it was. Got back in, and then we sold it at 65 cents, and that was good. Why did we do that? Because there was no future for that coin other than Elon Musk tweeting about it. Well, now he owns the company that you tweet on, and he's going to have free reign to do whatever he, you know, virtually whatever he wants, I believe. And I don't think he's going to bail on this Dogecoin community. I think, you know, I've heard some rumors, there's some big stuff like that he's been working on with Dogecoin. I know it sounds ridiculous, but he's a maverick, right? That's what everybody says. He does things very outside of the box. And I feel like it would be a slap in the face to the Dogecoin community if he were not to actually enact some of these plans and integrate with Twitter. Think about this. Why did Litecoin go up so much in 2017? It was one of the first 4 coins on Coinbase. There was no other game in town. Litecoin was pumping in 2020 at the end of it because it was announced it was going on PayPal. So it went on a run. When you have coins that get credibility and get integrated with these large platforms, not exchanges, but large platforms, it gives them more credibility to the mainstream. And if it's integrated into Twitter and there are, people that are using it for microtransactions, if they go that route, and it's not just Bitcoin, but it's also Dogecoin, then you've now given it utility and it no longer serves as a meme coin. And you actually have to start thinking about where it plays into the future of Twitter,
Yeah, the trick is just going to be if say we are in a bearish downtrend, Bitcoin going down, how does that affect, is there more accumulation at a lower point for Doge? Does it?
Okay, but think about this though. That's why I would do 100. Like
100's a lot more palatable.
100, not 200. Let's do 100K. I think that when you look at that accumulation at 12 cents, I don't think Bitcoin's falling much below 30, maybe the 27 if it does hit a new bottom. But I mean, how much lower would Dogecoin go at that point? Maybe back down to 9 cents or 10 cents. I don't think we're going to lose that much. But Dogecoin ripped and ran its own course. That's what's so interesting here is it's already done its own thing where it didn't follow along with what Bitcoin was doing. And everybody's looking for that coin that's going to do it during this year, during this bear cycle, like Chainlink did in the last one. Why did Chainlink do so well? Had a massive community and they were pushing it everywhere. Look at this, starts making waves with Twitter. And, he announces some kind of plans to integrate it. I think we could see the same thing. Not for sure. Take a flyer, speculate a little bit. But we would be speculating on utility and use case of Dogecoin. We wouldn't be speculating on, meme communities getting in and, meme coin communities basically is what I'm trying to say. So,
yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like you said, it has it's got a really strong community of early crypto people too, strong developers. And it really does have the community of people that want to try things new just for the sake of trying something new. Like it does pretty well encapsulate, I would feel like, the image Elon Musk tries to portray. That we've never tried it this way. Let's just throw it against the wall and see what works. And yeah, it'd be fascinating to see if they could come up with something like that.
Yeah, and somebody said in the chat here, they said, oh, well, he slapped, real investors in the face. Why would he not slap a meme coin community in the face? Well, yeah, he did slap all Bitcoin investors in the face when he, publicly made fun of the fact he can pump and dump the markets right before Bitcoin 2021. But the fact is that it's not a meme coin community. That's irrelevant. This is the coin that he has chosen. Like he has chosen this coin to kind of almost be his brand in a lot of ways.
Yep.
It's not about the meme coin. It's really about mocking the SEC. Is really what it is.
It's about the spirit of it.
The spirit of it. That's what it is.
And Cali Crypto Dude with the super chat here said Doge might be a buy the news, sell the rumor. So you guys know it's usually buy the rumor, sell the news, but that is a pretty good, the news that Elon Musk buys Twitter and then you sell the rumor that he's going to incorporate Doge. And then if it doesn't happen, you're out beforehand.
It's coming. I don't think there's any question about it. I would say there's a 95% chance that in some form or fashion, Dogecoin is integrated into Twitter.
When do you think that will be? Like how long?
Less than a year.
You think?
Yeah.
2023 sometime?
Probably announced in 3 or 4 months. And I don't know like the timeline for him to get his hands around all of Twitter and what exactly he wants to do. Yeah. I think he's going to fix the scam bots first. But I think it's the kind of thing where if you're launching a new platform, you don't debut all your socials and announcements and press releases the day you launch the platform. You do it in the run up to it. And so I think that what we would see is an announcement that something about Dogecoin getting integrated in the future is coming. And then it's just a matter of time. And then everybody will speculate on the time. They probably won't give a definitive timeline. I think it's going to happen though. I think it will be less than a year. He's so adamant about this Dogecoin. He's so adamant about mocking the traditional system, the traditional investors, the traditional, regulatory bodies that we have, the SEC, and he's going to do whatever he wants to do now at this point. I mean, the man just bought Twitter. Like, 3 months ago, if we had said like, oh, Elon Musk is going to buy Twitter in April, nobody would have believed it.
True.
But here it is. So you guys know, like, I don't like a lot of stuff that he's done, but, I'm going to give him a chance to see if he can fix Twitter. And, we'll see what happens with his Dogecoin integration, but I'm going to take a flyer on it. Not because it's a meme coin, but because I think integration is coming with Twitter in the future. So, all right, looking at the top gainers of the day. Let's see, do we have any top gainers?
Probably.
Synthetics,
Oh, wow.
still having a pretty good run here. The graph up 6% over the week, 13% today almost. ZRX having a good week. Chris, we're seeing some outliers, kind of like we saw Thorchain a couple
DeFi
months ago.
stuff there.
Yeah, I have noticed that DeFi is making a bit of a splash again.
I'm wondering if it's because it got hammered so hard and now it's starting to recover because there's a little bit more clarity.
Definitely could be a possibility there. I think that, man, do you think some regulation on DeFi could make some of it go to zero?
Some, you mean?
I mean, relative zero.
Yeah, like 99% drop. Some of them, probably.
Yeah. It would be interesting to see. I mean, we know the blue chips, but, even your blue chips like Aave did not hold well. And a lot of people have forgotten about decentralized finance.
Yep.
You didn't if you were here in 2020.
You'll never forget Pickle Finance.
So, all right, let's go ahead, Frank. Well, before we bring Frank up, you want to talk about this Victoria VR thing?
Yeah. It's something you guys know here on the BitBoy Crypto channel and Meta Money a lot, our Metaverse channel. We're playing with all these different VR lands. Victoria VR is one of them. They're doing a little competition right now. There's a link in the description. I'll drop it in the chat here in just a minute, where you go and you fill out some very basic information to get entered to win 2 Oculuses and an Alpha Pass to get in and play in the Victoria VR land. So it's something we're doing, something we've been testing. Victoria VR is another metaverse along Sandbox Decentraland that we have land in and spend time developing and working on. So if you guys are interested in that, you can click on that link and potentially get access to an Alpha Pass.
Did you put it in the chat?
It's in the description. I'm going to put it in the chat in just a second.
So you guys know we don't do any sponsor content here.
No,
this is not sponsored by Victoria VR. We have land there, and they're doing a giveaway, and we want to support them. So that's what this is. Yeah. So I think Victoria VR is got some smart people behind it, and we'll see where it goes. All right, Frank, come on up.
Let's go, Frankie Candles. Unmute.
What is going on, guys? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. We got some good stuff to look at on the charts, but yeah, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, obviously, and then we're going to check in on the DXY and the SPY as both are making moves. Unfortunately, one is going up and one is going down, but we're going to take a look at it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Not going to cover the weekly too much. I think we have the gist of what's going on the weekly, as long as we understand, as traders. You guys got to understand I'm a trader, right? So, price can go up, and we're going to talk about some bullish things that I am seeing on the charts right now. But, just as long as you understand that there are some bearish things on the longer time frames that do lurk, price can come up, and you can make some money off of, longing these moves. So what happened? Let's actually start on the lower time frames just to cover, this little pump that we had, right? We had a nice little bounce off of this golden pocket area. I was telling everybody to keep an eye out for this and then keep a lookout for some bullish divergences, right? We did get one on the 4-hour that wound up playing out pretty well. Got a nice pump. And then if you guys watch the 9 p.m. Nightly news wrap up, you will know that I mentioned in the market watch that I was expecting maybe a pullback at around 41. Didn't quite make it to 41, but topped out at about 40,800. Starting to come down again, getting real close to that golden pocket again. Almost touching that golden pocket. But now here is something that we can look for, another possible move, right? If we come on over to the daily time frame, right? We do have a possible bullish divergence forming on the daily, right? Now, if that 4-hour bullish divergence has brought us up, let's just go ahead and measure it real quick. about here. Obviously, you're never really going to catch it from wick to wick, but let's just measure that full move. About 6.8%, almost 7%. And then we had another bullish divergence for this big move right here. And that was a nice 11.5% move. So when you see these bullish divergences on a longer time frame like the daily, a lot of times they'll play out even more powerful than when you see them on the 4-hour. So you do see your momentum waves making higher lows, right, with your price making lower lows. And if you guys don't have Market Cipher, you can do this with the RSI as well. That's free on TradingView. I just use Market Cipher because that's typically, I always have Market Cipher up on my charts. But you could do the same thing with the RSI. You're just looking for, on the RSI, you'd be looking for higher lows down on the RSI with price making lower lows. So this is not confirmed yet. We do have about 8 hours left to confirm this, but if we do confirm this green dot, that will be a legitimate bullish divergence, and we could see a move to the upside. And we are also coming down to this strong level of support. This
we bounced
right
about off
here.
the bottom of it. Very close.
Right now, we are getting real close to it. I don't think we've touched it just yet, but we actually let me just zoom in a little bit on a lower time frame so we can get a better look.
I see. I thought that was the.
Yeah, we are. Oh, baby, we are almost there. But keep an eye out for this bullish divergence on the daily to confirm. If this does confirm, we could see some more movement to the upside. But right now, essentially what's happening, we came up, got rejected off 40,800. And you can even say, this was a breakdown out of here. And then we bounced up and then tested this as resistance and are now coming down further. So you want to be careful. That bullish divergence, you want to wait for that bullish divergence to confirm. And you're also going to want to check your lower time frames for some confluence, right? Or some confirmations. And then real quick, before I get out of here, let's go ahead and take a look at this DXY. This thing just will not stop.
Jeez.
Actually, let me go to the 2 weeks so we could zoom out a little bit more. And so you guys can see we are coming up to this trend line that we have rejected pretty harshly. Let me turn off Market Cipher A. We are just coming up to this area. And the last 2 times we came up to here, we had a harsh rejection, which these both basically marked the beginning of bull runs. Now, I don't know if that's what we're going to see here. If we see this thing break resistance and keep coming higher, it's not going to be looking good for Bitcoin, in my opinion, unless they decide to deviate. They don't always move perfectly inverse of each other. They do deviate at times. But we're here. I'll be honest. I thought we were going to get rejected at this line right here. I did not know if we were going to make it all the way up here, but here we are. So watching this very closely for either a breakout or a harsh rejection.
It's happened pretty quick.
It happened.
I think it was going parabolic.
Yeah. Typically this the DXY is a pretty slow moving thing. So,
and wouldn't you think when they announced this 75.75 basis points increase from the Fed, that's going to make the dollar stronger even?
Yeah.
It'll make it go up.
I think we're going to rip through that.
Yeah, and it would make a lot of sense, right? If we get rejected, obviously that would, and we saw Bitcoin go on another run, that would support the extended cycle theory. But if you're going historically, not saying that cannot happen, but if you're going with, what has historically happened in Bitcoin, it would make sense to break through that with that supporting news, or that news acting as supporting evidence. But yeah, and then just
that's probably why it's gone parabolic the last day.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So moving pretty fast here. So we're going to be watching this closely. If we break through it, probably not going to be too good for Bitcoin, but would kind of make sense in my opinion. And then just a very textbook W pattern reversal there. Just wanted to point that out. Yeah. But the SPY, let's see, taking a look at this, obviously.
It bounced back yesterday, didn't it? Pretty good or no?
So yeah, we are continuing to come down. We did find a little support in here, came back up, but now we are breaking right back down. We are coming up to support, though. So let's hope for a bounce here. Not sure if we're going to get it, but we are coming up to some strong support. So hopefully we can hold this and pray for Bitcoin. But, on the bullish end of Bitcoin, watch out for that daily bullish divergence. Oof. Actually, we just lost the green dot, but it could come back. But just keep an eye out for this green dot to confirm for that bullish divergence.
Not looking good.
He tried so hard.
I just wanted to leave off on a bullish note, and you can't make this up. But it could come back, right? You still have 8 hours, right? So we have all day for that green dot to come back. But if that does confirm, we could see upside. If it doesn't confirm, we are probably, in my opinion, going to lose this golden pocket. And possibly come down to this 786 fib level for another test of this. So I think that's all I got, guys. Back to Ben. Bing bong. Going live at 5:45 after ATB. Be there, guys. Be there.
Nice. Well, Frankie Candle's a good channel to follow if you guys want to learn how to make money with Bitcoin, whether the price is going up or down. Frankie Candles can show you how to make that happen.
Pray for Bitcoin. That's what someone said. Pray for Bitcoin. Okay, so thanks, Frank, for putting a big damper on the show. Appreciate that. All right, here we go. Back to the big story of the week. Musk gets Twitter for $44 billion to cheers and fears of free speech plan. Like,
how does that even make sense? Fears of free speech.
I tell you, we just don't learn the lessons of history very well in the world. If you look about every 100 years, there's a major conflict, and we don't learn the lessons. And, one of the things that really, led up to the Cold War, right, was this idea that everybody's like, oh, we should try communism. It's going to be great. Like, it's going to be awesome. Let's try that. Let's try to put it in other places around the world, see how it does. How is that communism working for the Chinese citizen locked in their Shanghai apartments? Okay. How did that communism work out in the USSR? Which, interestingly enough, our editor here, she her family was in the military there, and she actually said that it wasn't that life was great under USSR, but they actually knew what to expect. They knew what to expect. It wasn't like a lot of stuff, but they knew what to expect. It was when they tore down the wall and they did all this stuff, with Gorbachev, that's when, like, for several years, things got really crazy. And Putin, is a person that took advantage of all of this chaos in Russia after the USSR fell. But it doesn't work, guys. Communism does not work. You see it all the time. There is a presupposition that because we're born, we deserve certain things. We deserve shelter. We deserve food. We deserve clothing. We deserve water. Okay? But someone's got to produce those things. Somebody's got to get the bottles of water, because I know everybody drinks bottled water. Somebody's got to build the houses, right? And we have this new generation of communist wannabes here in America, even, that are wanting to try it again. Guys, we just haven't tried it the right way yet.
Right.
Like, we haven't tried it the right way. Guys, we see how this happens over and over and over again. And this here, with Twitter maybe becoming a free speech platform, could be a pivot point where we're going to see a lot more separation in the ideas between capitalism and communism. Because communism, censorship. Capitalism is not supposed to be censorship. The money speaks. The money is what dictates what needs to happen. But we're not seeing that in the world. Why? Because the people that have all the money, the elites, they have seen, same thing with the Russian oligarchs, they saw, oh gosh, well, we have all these billions of dollars for our tech stocks, our tech companies, and all this stuff. Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, all these people. And they've realized, oh, we've already got all the money. We just need to control the people, right?
Yeah, that's why most people that understand in economics these days would say we are not in a capitalist society. We're in what they would call a crony capitalism, because it's not true capitalism. It is fully controlled, and it's very contrived to help those at the top stay at the top with all these bailouts. And, like, basically, if there was true
YouTube, by the way, I want to come back to the chat.
If there was true capitalism, there wouldn't be any bank bailouts. We would let the pain happen. It would be painful, and then we'd reset and rebuild the right way. But right now, since we've been, ever since the 70s, more or less trying to keep the bubble going, we only want it to go up. We don't ever want to have another recession or depression. Now we're going to make our lives 10 times more difficult because we've blown this thing up.
I love this comment on the chat over here. Brian Miller. Does capitalism work when you're $30 trillion in debt? Communism would probably work better if you could print $30 trillion. This is the heart of why communism doesn't work. Capitalism is also not a perfect system. Yeah. Why are we $30 trillion in debt? Is it because of the capitalist system, or is it because of our government?
Yep.
It's because of the government. You cannot trust the government. They've even messed up something that's supposed to be a free market. Okay.
Speaking of history, you if you look throughout any history, you should know, do not trust the government.
Exactly. So let's institute full government takeover where they control every aspect of our life and they provide us with everything, all of our health care and all of our housing needs. Oh, let's trust the very people that are the least trustworthy people in the world. And that's really where it all breaks down. You can probably have some, friggin' Nirvana utopian, hippie cults out there that maybe it works on a small scale, but on a large scale, the Russian oligarchs, they're the ones who profit. The FANG stocks, when it comes to capitalism, they're the ones who profit. The elite is always moving out ahead of everybody else. And what happens when they get so far out in front? Revolution. So I don't know when that comes, but the more the haves and the have-nots get separated here in America, especially, we will see some type of revolution at some point for sure. And who knows? Maybe all the anti-gun people, maybe they take over the United States and force us all into communism. Maybe.
Seems legit.
Yeah, it seems legit. Musk gets Twitter for $44 billion. So let's talk about this. Elon Musk clinched a deal to buy Twitter for $44 billion cash on Monday. It will shift control of the social media platform populated by millions of users. It is a seminal moment. Love that word. For the 16-year-old company, which emerged as one of the world's most influential public squares, but also one of the least profitable companies. I don't even know if Twitter's ever been profitable. Musk, who calls himself a free speech absolutist, has criticized Twitter's moderation. He wants Twitter's algorithm for prioritizing tweets to be public and objects to giving too much power on the service to corporations that advertise. Political activists expect that a Musk regime will mean less moderation and reinstatement of banned individuals, including old DJ T. See, I can't even say his name on the channel. That's the world we live in now. Conservatives cheered the prospect of fewer controls. I hear he's not coming back regardless. That's what I heard. So I heard, he's trying to do his own. I heard he's actually upset about this because he was trying to do his own Twitter.
If he was trying to do his own, he took too long.
100%. Yeah. Musk has advocated, basically getting rid of spam bots. Let's see. Free speech is the bedrock of functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. Former CEO Jack Dorsey weighed in, said they're trying to get the company out of an impossible situation. You did it, Jack. You can't undo the nose piercing after you got it done, okay? It's going to be there forever. It might seal up. I got some little holes in my ears when I had earrings when I was 18.
Really?
Yeah. Man, I had earrings when I was 18. But the holes closed up. If you look real close, you can still see where they were.
That'd be a
Jack,
good...
we didn't forget that you were in charge and you did all this. We didn't forget. We know. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that'd be a good Halloween costume. Blinged out Benny. Old school Ben.
That was, those were mine.
Wearing your
my Echo puffy vest phase.
I was going to say an Echo vest and some
I rocked
Jinkos.
all Echo back then. I had a freaking Echo tattoo.
It's almost back in.
Such a dork. I was actually pretty cool. I'm going to be honest with you. At the time, it was cool. Okay. Jeff Bezos, of course, bought Washington Post, so we've got other precedent for this.
Have you heard anything about other people funding this buy? Who? Obviously, I'm assuming BlackRock, Vanguard, a lot of the people that are already invested in Twitter will be participating in this funding. But do we know anything else about where this money is coming from? It's not like...
Because I saw it said he raised the money for it or something. Did you see that somewhere? Or maybe it just say he secured the liquidity because all his money's tied up in stocks. I don't know how much liquidity he has.
It's not like him writing a personal check. Some of it will come from him and a lot of it will come from other people, I assume, if he's taking it private. But who? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
Which I guess
we
they
know
don't have... If it's private, they don't have to tell you, I guess. But
right. Oh, if it's private, they don't even have to...
tell anything.
To say if they add Bitcoin to there.
Exactly. That's a big part of it.
Or how much Dogecoin. They're just going to siphon off that, 14 billion Doge wallet. Or however much it is. Maybe it's not 14 billion. Maybe it's way more than that. What's missing, misunderstood in Section 230 debates? Now, this is what is so important. This is kind of what, Bill Ottman yesterday alluded to this Section 230. If you don't know what this is, you need to understand it to really grasp the landscape of social media. Does the federal law allow you to sue social media if their algorithms spread disinformation? Are some would-be social media reforms targeting the First Amendment? Is a 3-word phrase a dangerous loophole or a useful catch-all? So what this is, Section 230 says online services cannot be sued in civil court for well-intentioned attempts to remove particularly problematic content, such as that which is excessively violent or obscene. That is one of the caveats to it. But some more core tenets of it says online services can host user-created content without fear of being sued over what those users say. It's often seen as the reason websites, social media platforms, and others allow people to make posts and to do so without stringent limitations. But haven't we seen this change over the last 5 years? Mm-hmm. We have seen the level of censorship and what is allowed, what is not. And I will tell you this, shadow banning. Shadow banning is one of the most tragic things that can happen to a person on social media. And all of the social media companies lie and tell you they don't do it. Mm-hmm. Do you think we're stupid? Like all of a sudden, people don't get any notifications for this channel. Like this random, you think Mr. Beast is having that problem? You think your PewDiePie thinks having that problem?
Yeah, that Section 230 thing is going to get real interesting because it's something they've played on both sides of the fence of
100%
for a long time. And now it's getting where they say like, oh, how could we possibly be held responsible for policing everybody? Yet now at the same time, they're like, oh, but we're going to try. But don't hold us responsible. So we're going to get to have full rights as a publisher, but you can't hold us to that standard as a publisher because we're just a platform. Well, are you a platform or are you a publisher? Do you make content decisions or do you not?
And that's where being a moderator comes in. There's supposed to be moderators where it's only absolutely necessary actions that they're taking. But I would argue that the use of algorithms and the way that they feed content to people also violate Section 230 because they're no longer just moderating content.
Not even close.
They're forcing content on people based upon their search history and their data. They're forcing it on you. So you're only seeing a feed that looks the way they want it to look like. That is not moderation. Moderation would be if you went to Reddit, and Reddit isn't, it's highly, the cryptocurrency subreddit is super moderated. But on Reddit, at least everybody gets a crack at it. And then the actual moderators of the subreddits are the people that make the decisions. Reddit is not making decisions on what goes and what doesn't go on their content. Reddit is actually the closest thing probably we have to something that actually is stuck to the Section 230. But this 230 is over. Like none of these companies are doing this anymore and they're still using it. So it's going to be really interesting to see with Twitter and the way this shakes out, if this is going to basically be a new litmus test, a new standard for social media. Will some of these other companies reverse course? Will Twitter all of a sudden blow up even more because of some changes he makes, eat away from the other social media companies, and then they got to start instituting some of these changes as well? So very fascinating stuff, guys. I love talking about social media and decentralization. That's what got me into crypto is decentralization. Fidelity to reportedly allow 401k retirement savings accounts to invest in Bitcoin. Doesn't feel like we've covered this story 427 times.
Yeah, slowly. I mean, Fidelity has been slowly rolling out different things. I do think this is big. Fidelity, one of the biggest 401k providers out there. So if they enable this, a lot of people right now that have IRAs, 401ks, that sort of stuff, Grayscale is really their only option. The Grayscale BTC Trust or whatever, something like that, or Ethereum or et cetera. So for Fidelity to offer something like this does give exposure options to a very large piece of the population that controls a lot of wealth. So it's not going to be an instant thing, but this bodes well for right now, but it also bodes extremely well for next cycle bull run when the price starts pumping again, whenever that is. you'll see.
I know the date, but go ahead.
Not September 28th, right?
Hmm.
No, okay. Whenever that date hits, it's another on ramp for money to pour in, retail money to pour in much, much faster. So, will be interesting.
So, the reason why I said I feel like we covered this story 942 times is because just substitute the name Fidelity, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, whatever it is, just plug that in and it works because they're all coming out with this stuff. Yeah. It's almost like, a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses here. Which one of these platforms, which one of these institutions is going to offer, the largest suite of investment tools to their users to try to keep them sitting in the bank instead of heading over to Coinbase. So it'll be really interesting to track this and see what happens with this 401k. Now, we were talking about maybe like we don't have 401ks here, right?
Not yet. We're working on it.
Don't you think it's more fun to do a crypto kind of 401k deal?
What do you mean?
I don't know. We're like, instead of putting cash in, we're putting crypto in or, something like that.
Yeah, the best way for people to do that right now is Digifox, where basically you can get a percentage of your pay in it. There's a lot of tax and legal stuff for us to match, but that's the goal. We get
but people aren't, I don't think the younger generation is going to be interested in 401ks really. They're going to look at that number and be like, oh yeah, when I'm older, I'll get this money to where I can't even use it in enjoyment. That's the big narrative, the younger people, the younger generation is talking about. It's like, I don't want to retire when I'm 65. I want to retire when I'm 40. Is 401k going to get me there? They're all going to say no. I'm very interested to see when we are going to start seeing companies start these crypto plans, not just Digifox where you get paid, but where you're earning like as a part of a benefit package, because you don't have to, as a company, put that much in compared to what you would have to put in to a 401k, and it's going to massively outgrow it over the next 10 to 20 years, Yep. So,
but 401k is just a vehicle to defer the tax. You can put anything in there. You can put Bitcoin in a 401k.
I've never had a 401k. So I don't, you actually had one.
Yeah.
I don't even really know what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a job where I had one. So I do know that it sounds boring to me.
Yeah.
It does. And I know when you had to deal with it.
Yeah.
That definitely made me realize that's a dying thing.
Yeah. Transferring it was the worst.
Yeah. The matching. Yeah. The matching is aspect of it is kind of what I was talking about. Okay. All right. Bored Ape Yacht Club confirms Instagram account was hacked. Here is how it happened. We talked about this yesterday on Around the Blockchain. This was a big deal. The team behind the NFT Bored Ape Yacht Club lost access to their Instagram account. They confirmed that their profile on social media was hacked, which allowed the attackers to post links to a copycat website, which led to fake airdrops. Users were lured to the fake websites, trusting that the announcement was official. Later, they were asked to sign a safe transfer from transaction. That's basically handing a signature over. As the team behind Bored Apes allowed attackers, this allowed the hackers to steal their digital assets. The team behind the project said immediately upon discovering the hack, we alerted the community, removed links to the compromised IG account from our platforms, and attempted to recover the account. The account was hacked even with extra security measures online. BAYC confirmed, such as two-factor authentication. Wow. Despite these claims, the account was hacked, leading to important losses for several users. 4 apes, 6 mutants, 3 kennels, and the loss of other digital assets. This is bad. If you are affected by the hack or have information, reach out to ighack@yugalabs.io. Is that a real email address? I guess it is.
So are these things were stolen from members of the team? Or these are users?
No, leading to important losses for several users.
So basically the account was hacked. They reached out to other users on Instagram?
So basically I think what occurred, here it is right here. They posted this. They created this website and they basically used the Instagram account to push people over to this. You need to connect your MetaMask wallet before you can claim land. Guys. Look, does this look like something the Bored Ape Yacht Club would do here? Like, no. Have you seen the level of their graphic design?
Yeah.
This is guy made it on Canva.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll never announce mints. Look, guys, it's just bad. You got to be careful out there. You should always be skeptical when you are connecting a MetaMask wallet. Always be skeptical. You have to be skeptical. So how can Yuga Labs get hacked? Well, Yuga Labs did not get hacked. Their Instagram account got hacked because the security on these accounts is not super strong. That's how we lost our TikTok account. Our TikTok account is gone. We're trying to get it back, still in the process of trying to deal with this. Like, it happened the day before the Super Bowl. We still don't have it, and we haven't got a single reply from TikTok. We have some people on the back of things working it out, but Instagram doesn't care. Instagram doesn't care that Yuga Labs account got hacked. You think Mark Zuckerberg cares? He probably likes it. He probably enjoys it. He's like, that serves him right for that Bored Ape Yacht Club, other side metaverse to compete with my Meta, So, just be careful out there, guys. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. You should always be skeptical of airdrops as well. Always be skeptical of airdrops. Always be skeptical of connecting your MetaMask wallet. They're not always asking for your private key. This was basically a signature request. If it looks out of the ordinary, make sure you stop what you're doing. The results are in, and this is so stupid. I'm just going to say, before I even get into this article, this is a low IQ article. This is a very low IQ article because reading the headline, I know exactly what this article is going to say. Before we read it, here's what the article is going to say.
I just saw the 2 seconds of it.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the idea. All these companies put all this money into these ads for the Super Bowl, and they haven't gotten a lot more users since then. Well, duh. Bitcoin searches are like, a 4-year low. The prices are down. People are thinking about real estate. They're not thinking about crypto right now. They're thinking about recession, what that might look like for them. They're not thinking about buying crypto right now. Your mainstream people are not. Okay. So obviously, when the prices are down and you're in a bear market, you're not going to add new users. So we'll see. Let's see if that's the general gist of this article. Crypto firms failed to draw in a rush of new retail investors from the Super Bowl advertising campaign strategy. There it was. It said it all in the first sentence. First time crypto firms ran ads during the biggest sporting event. Didn't Coinbase have an ad like 3 or 4 years ago? I'm almost positive they did. It was like a yacht. It was like a boat. It was a short Coinbase ad at the Super Bowl. This was not their first one, I do not believe. While it was hailed as a milestone moment for the industry at the time, it's now being branded a miss. This is so stupid. 2022 Super Bowl viewing figures were up 16%. They should have, had all these people dropping Bitcoin. Due to high viewership and broad demographic reach, Super Bowl advertising has become a cultural phenomenon in itself. Marketers see it as an opportunity to produce cinematic quality masterpieces to achieve their marketing goals. I will tell you something I found to be very interesting, which is that, people that I know that are like not really into crypto, but are kind of thinking about crypto, most people I associate with are sports people. I love sports people. If you're a guy and you're cool, you got some kids, you're married, you talk sports, you like to go to sporting events, we're going to get along. We're going to get along for sure. Most people that fit in that category in my life, they always still, even though they watch the Super Bowl, they still ask, well, where do I go? So I do think there is a bit of a disconnect in the messaging for these national ads for FTX. People don't even know what FTX is, and it's everywhere.
Yep.
Okay.
We noticed it everywhere because we know it.
We noticed the Coinbase logo at the NBA games. And I think they sponsor the 76ers too. I think they're written on the court there. I think they're their main court sponsor. So obviously I think there might be some messaging problems, but guys, people don't rush into Bitcoin when the price is down. This is really just kind of a silly article, like basically saying what everyone should already know. Crypto prices are down. Crypto user registrations are down. It has nothing to do with whether or not their ad campaign was successful or not. Yeah. So that it didn't matter if they had the greatest ad, some people call it overseas, right? An advert, the greatest advert ever.
Yeah. This article is about as dumb as every other article written about the crypto Super Bowl ads.
Yeah. All right. NFL releases 2022 draft virtual ticket NFTs on Flow. I've got some of these NFL NFTs. I got 2 from the Super Bowl, and I got 1 from a Falcons-Lions game. Man, wouldn't it be great if there was a secondary market for the Flow blockchain? Because there's not. Did you know that? There's not a secondary market for there's not a third-party secondary market for Flow.
Oh, a third party.
Yeah, like you have Flow. You can go to the Dapper Labs site or
Right.
NBA Top Shots, the projects that are on the Flow blockchain, but you can't buy Flow NFTs on OpenSea.
Right.
Can't buy them on Rarible.
Right.
So maybe if there was one out there that could solve all those interoperability problems, it'd be really interesting to see. Like tentacles almost. Okay. Official NFT draft collectibles released. 2022 NFL draft takes place later this week, April 28th through 3rd. Oh, it's like 2 days from now. We're in Sacramento the night of the draft, actually. And the league is marking the occasion with the launch of a new NFT collection, which offers collectibles inspired by each of the league's 32 teams. They resemble a playing card and sell for $52 because there's 52 people on a team. Is that right, or is it 53? 52. I guess that's probably why they did that. NFTs are minted on the Flow blockchain rather than Polygon, the Ethereum sidechain. Each NFT is dubbed a virtual commemorative ticket. An NFL representative told Decrypt that all on-site inner circle guests for each team at the first 2 days of the draft will also receive NFTs, which are tied to an on-site promotion. Guys, these Flow is an incredible blockchain for NFTs. They have less problems than any other chain, from what I've seen. And, when somebody can finally figure that out and get a secondary market for that, it's going to be really big. Let's see. We knew Dallas Cowboys. Wasn't that funny, TJ, that the Dallas Cowboys announced the blockchain.com sponsorship like the day after we asked what team was going to be the first one? Did you know that happened?
I didn't. No.
Yeah. It was literally the next day, or it might have even been that same afternoon they announced it.
Interesting.
So, but it was, they're like a sponsor of the team. They're not, it's not a stadium deal, which we were talking about would be interesting. Crypto.com made a major move into federal lobbying at the start of the year. That is pretty interesting. Major crypto exchange and service provider Crypto.com launched a major lobbying operation at the beginning of 2022. I could tell you why they did that, but probably shouldn't. According to lobbying disclosure documents, we love Crypto.com, by the way. Lobbying disclosure documents reviewed by the block, Crypto.com spent $300,000 on lobbying in Q1 of 2022, immediately making it one of the largest players in the crypto lobbying space. It was the first time that the company had reported any lobbying disclosures at all. Crypto.com is globally based in the Cayman Islands. Firm also enlisted teams at other company or other lobbying groups. Lobbying Disclosure Act classifies a relatively narrow range of activities as lobbying. $300,000 is not indicative of the whole of their, just like a lot of jargon. We are actively seeking to work with regulators globally as we continue to build our operations and to educate policymakers about our company in the category. That's what we're doing, actually, this week. We're going out to Sacramento, meet with the House majority leader there to talk crypto regulation. So this is something we've done before. We went to Texas, the next week, the governor announced they were going all in on blockchain. We see what's happened to Austin since then. We see what's going on with crypto mining since then, or Bitcoin mining specifically. So it's exciting stuff. Feeling like is the BitSquad here. We're affecting policy. And I think California's got to have an awakening moment, right? Like they have to have an aha moment where they say, Oracle left, Tesla left, other big California companies left. Silicon Valley is not Silicon Valley anymore. We're seeing those companies now go to Miami and Austin. And they got to say, oh yeah, if we're going to keep a sustainable economy and a sustainable government, we might actually need to take advantage of this blockchain, blockchain integration into the world. And we might want to actually not stifle technology. We might want to welcome that stuff to California. That's the message we're going to be talking about. Because look, California is is it the 4th largest economy in the world?
I don't know about in the world.
It's not, somebody will know the number. I don't know if it's 4th or 7th or 10th or whatever.
Yeah, I wanted to say 10.
But California itself is like a top 10 economy in the world. And, it's got to get to a friendlier place for these businesses in the blockchain space. And I think they're thinking about that stuff. So, it's not only crypto.com out there lobbying, and I can tell you that, when it comes to, crypto.com's exposure out there, look, this is what I'll tell you. There are a lot of companies out there that have been feeling heat from regulators. A lot of people don't know about a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors. But there's a lot of companies out there who got letters from the SEC. I'm not saying that they're one of them, but the SEC has been turning up the heat, trying to squeeze a lot of big exchanges, a lot of, influencers as well, actually, trying to get to influencers to get to some of these companies, actually. Influencers aren't in trouble. They're trying to use them to get information about some of these crypto companies and part of their deals and things like that. And so the fact is, crypto.com is getting out in front of some of that stuff. And they're trying to make sure this regulation is going to be friendly. It's going to make sense. I will tell you this. I do know that, when it comes to crypto advertising with staking platforms on digital networks, the SEC started going after companies for putting the interest rates of their staking platforms. Because if you offered multiple coins you could stake and you put an interest rate that was for one of the bigger coins and it was higher, the SEC said, well, people that are going to go and they're going to, stake on that platform, they're going to automatically assume every coin gets the very possible highest return, based.
Stupid.
The level of low IQ that the SEC thinks that the average American has is, absolutely idiot. I can't even wrap my mind around how stupid you would have to be. I want you to think about this. You go to, let's just say Celsius, for instance. I know they kind of pause stuff, but for instance, you go to Celsius because you see an ad that says 6% staking. You go to Celsius, you buy coin X, whatever it is, coin X, not XRP, but just random coin X. When you're staking it, it literally says, this is the contract and this is your interest rate. It literally says it right there. The SEC thinks you're too dumb to read that giant lettered disclaimer that they give you about what the amount that you're staking is. That's how stupid they think we are. And it's just a system of, this is what we talk about, the elites and the haves and the have-nots. They want to keep the have-nots not having any. New York bill banning proof of work, crypto mining poised to advance. Interesting stuff here, guys. When we talk about crypto mining, the Bitcoiners, it does not look like in any form or fashion are ever going to back down from, proof of work. So this is just, you want to talk about states restricting, stifling, what's the word I'm looking for? Innovation. Stifling innovation. That's what New York is doing. They're saying, we don't want a piece of this. We want to, and it's no coincidence, it's New York, obviously, where the traditional system lives. Meta opening its first physical store as metaverse efforts heats up. I thought it was really interesting what, Bill Ottman was talking about with Facebook yesterday when he was on the show. Very interesting what Raoul Pal had to say about it over the weekend. But Meta has now announced its first physical store. I'm going to stick with what I say here. I'm going to refuse to call it Meta. Facebook has announced its first physical store, which allows customers to try its hardware hands-on. The stores will open on May 9th in Burlingame. Is that how you say that?
Sure.
Oh, you don't know? It's in California. I thought you did live there.
No, I've never heard of it.
Burlingame. The devices available in the store will be Portal, Ray-Ban Stories, and the Quest 2 VR headset. The company also introduced a shop tab on the Facebook website. Excuse me. Hands-on experience will allow users to try demos of various products and services. Experience with the VR headset. Once people experience technology, they can gain a better appreciation for it. We did our job right. People should leave and tell their friends. It's clear Facebook wants to nudge people into trying its metaverse ideas. Metaverse is going to crush it. I do not believe Facebook is going to. It is investing in this initiative to the points where billions of dollars. They've rebranded their company. Absolutely insane what they've done. One of the more interesting developments is a series of AI projects. During an Inside the Lab event, Mark Zuckerberg unveiled a smart assistant and a builder bot that would help develop the metaverse experience. So, do you trust a robot that Mark Zuckerberg built? That's the Will Smith iRobot that comes into your house and takes over your family.
Yeah, I think they're going to be, it sounds like digital stuff first. I know, like that, you could play that out. But it would be interesting, as we're experiencing in all these metaverses, building becomes a huge chore, right? You get this land and it needs to be
ridiculous.
developed.
People have no idea.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. So getting AI applications that can perform a lot of the basic tasks within the metaverse will definitely be something that is needed. So interesting. Yeah. That's kind of what I was saying about Facebook initially. Like, I don't think long term their platform will succeed, but I think they will make a lot of interesting innovations, like an AI builder assistant that you see somebody recreate on an open system, and then people iterate on it, make it 10 times better, and that system succeeds. So that's kind of what I see Meta's contribution being.
Zuckerberg is a robot. Robots building robots now.
Here we go.
Oh man, have you watched? Is it Love, Sex, and Robots, or Love, Death, Sex, and Robots?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen that one.
There's one that's super interesting. It's kind of about this self actualized AI that reached sentience, and you don't realize that he's this robot you see in the beginning, and he's like working on all these robots and stuff. And it's exactly who knows? Maybe one day. Old Naval says we're way far away from sentience. We'll never see it in our lifetimes. So I don't know. It depends on if you're gonna, I think be cryogenically frozen.
We'll see.
Come back in the metaverse.
I think.
Ripple versus SEC. Throw the X up. Throw the X up if you're in the XRP army. Make sure to smash that like button for us, especially if you like the 589. It's just too fresh. Such a fresh shirt. 589 was my idea. So that's a little bit of an ode to Pomp. But what's interesting is Pomp is in love with Elon Musk. I'm not trying to talk bad about Pomp, just so everybody knows. I'm not saying anything bad about Pomp. Okay. But I just think it's kind of interesting that he's in love with Elon Musk. And the Bitcoin Magazine people are too. They call him a Bitcoiner. When they wouldn't call me a Bitcoiner, because we have other coins. Same thing with Elon Musk. Pomp loves Elon Musk, but he destroys Dogecoin, says the worst thing ever, which, we haven't said favorable stuff about it, previously. We said it might pump a little bit, but, we're not into meme coins, but I said we might buy some because we think maybe it's becoming not a meme coin. That's a totally different situation. But, how does he balance that? Where basically the hero of Bitcoin is the biggest pumper of a meme coin.
Well, and he also is very anti-maximalism. Elon is, and says,
yeah, exactly,
like that. How stupid that mindset is. So interesting.
Well, and he, they have that Morgan Creek Digital. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Morgan.
It's him and Mark Yusko.
Yeah, Creek
or
Capital. Morgan Creek Capital, I think is what it is.
Morgan Creek Capital. I'm pretty sure they have a massive amount of Ethereum. I think they don't just hold Bitcoin, which is pretty interesting. He's smart. He knows that Ethereum is pretty much a sure shot. But I was just thinking about that. I was seeing some of the stuff he was saying about Elon Musk over the last couple of days. I was seeing what Bitcoin Magazine was talking about, and I was just like, how do they reconcile that? How do they reconcile? I'd be interested to see over the next couple of weeks and months how that goes. Okay, so the battle over SEC emails rages on with further filing due this Friday. In a recent update, oh, by the way, if we go to Twitter, I retweeted this story right here. It's a great article on Forbes by this lady. You can look her up on Twitter on my tweet, on my retweet, on my timeline here. Rosalind Layton. That's PhD. And this is an incredible article basically about how the SEC has backed itself up into a corner and they've gone way too far. And now all these emails are out and people are seeing what is really going on. And this is a landmark case in the history of the SEC. And the SEC is actually, here it talks about, let's see where it was, where it talked about the Howey test. The Howey test. To justify its actions in court, the SEC has leaned heavily on the so-called Howey test, that an asset is a security if its value is derived by the actions of a third party. Well, guys, it's gotten to the point where some of the commissioners have made statements. They're even trying to back out of the Howey test. The own test that they set up to use as precedence to determine if something is a security or not, they've been like, just because it passes the Howey test doesn't mean it's not a security and we can't regulate it. What? You got to be kidding me. So really crazy. This is a great, this is definitely a great article. I suggest everybody go check it out. And we're going to see more about these emails coming out soon, I'm sure. So this is going to be the motion to renew the assertion of attorney-client privilege over and redact the speech documents is Friday, April 29th. Guess I cannot get rid of this banner. Oh, yeah, I can. It's on this side.
Oh, there you go. I left the poll up long enough, so now it's pretty close to 30% across the board. I mean, it is 37 on 4 to 6.
Wow, that's pretty even.
It is pretty even.
It's pretty even across the board. I'm really surprised at that.
4 to 6 minutes was leading,
Okay.
though.
Cool.
That's with almost 3,000 votes.
This is Bill.
Bill.
This guy tweets at me all the time. He tweets at me all the time. I guess I don't know who he is, but he tweets a lot, sending me XRP stuff or tagging me and stuff. SEC's motion to renew the assertion of attorney-client privilege over and redact the speech documents is due this Friday. Judges narrowly confined the scope to redact, but the SEC signaled in its April 15th letter that many documents are subject to attorney-client privilege. So that's what they're trying to sort out, which one of these are going to have that privilege and are going to be redacted. And I'm curious, like, are any of these emails that we already have? Like, we've already seen some of these emails, I believe. I don't know if those have redactions or not. I think maybe the XRP community can let me know. Are some of these emails that are out public, weren't some of these leaked? I'm not sure. That was my impression, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Earlier, the SEC had told the court that it was going to file new privilege assertions in a last-ditch effort. This is what it's all about. SEC Gate, we call it here, to prevent the production of emails related to the infamous Ethereum speech of William Hinman. Agency had also stated its intent to oppose the court's DPP ruling. Of course, they lost out on that, I believe. I think that part's over at least. William Hinman said Ethereum and Bitcoin are not a security. There's a lot of evidence. Like I said, I don't know if these emails are public yet, but the idea is there were some of those emails which the original text and drafts of those speeches or of that speech he gave did not include Ethereum. And Simpson and Thatcher, a company, an attorney, a law firm within the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, EEA, which we did a lot of videos on in 2020. They actually gave him $15 million. You know what they called it?
What's that?
They called it a, you know what? It's in this article. It's in this article. Let me see exactly what they called it. It's pretty ridiculous. They called it, let's see, Simpson, Thatcher, retirement benefits. He got $15 million from this law firm at the SEC for retirement benefits. That's pretty weird, isn't it? Because he was at the SEC, so he wasn't working at that company at that time. So how do you get retirement? Was this basically a backdoor deal where they said, hey, you go into the SEC, you do all this stuff, and then on the back end, we'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously what happened. But
here's what we'll pay you to go in there and do what we need you to do and leave.
It's very interesting stuff, guys. So we'll see what happens. I've said for a long time, the majority of this is going to get redacted of this case by the time this is over. There's going to be leaks, but we're going to not know as much as we would like to know. And the reason why they're going to do that is the SEC wants to protect precedents.
Yeah.
They don't want there to be precedents for other companies to get out of regulation because Ripple wins this case. All right, last quick hits. We got institutional outflows. Institutional money flowing out of ETH and into competing layer 1 altcoins. I mean, you got Luna doing okay. Crypto Space Agency opens up travel to NFT holders. Wow, we're gonna be traveling here soon. Move to earn. This is about Is it about Steppen?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's about Steppen. So if you're interested in Steppen, I think the Meta Money guys are going to be talking to TokenMetrics. They're really bullish on that coin.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually earn money for walking. It's great.
apparently Brian's earning like $200 a day.
Yeah. And I think they have they signed a partnership. I think it's with ASICs. It's with a big shoe company too. So Bitcoin electricity usage dropped 25%. Crypto clamped down only way of controlling the Wild West of finance, says the European bank director, European Central Bank director. All right, let's do a Q&A. Got just a couple minutes.
Yeah, there's only one
Okay.
right now. This guy asked a few times if we can get an in-depth ledger beginner's guide how-to video. I don't know if that's something.
Don't we have one of those on the Academy?
I'm sure we have stuff on the Academy. I'm sure we've done it in the channel in the past. You can definitely search. Go to the channel and use the search function on BitBoy Crypto channel.
I hadn't done an actual tutorial walkthrough in.
Maybe we can.
Let me see if I got a decent one.
Maybe we could see if that's something we could do on Frankie Candle's channel. Some wallet setup stuff, but that should be in the Academy for sure. So bitlabacademy.com.
I think early on somewhere I did one. I did do a tutorial where I really showed how to use it, but I don't know where it is. It'd be hard to find because it probably has 300 views on it. So. Yeah. All right, guys, that's all we got for the show today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back on Around the Blockchain later today. That's all I got. Be blessed. Boy out.